Donald Trump released a plan for ethics reform in Washington. It's basically an anti-lobbyist plan. Let's go through it and let's break it down here, and then I'll tell you guys whether or not I think it's real and serious and going to attack problems that matter, or if it's largely window dressing. So, first of all, he says, I'm going to reinstitute a 5-year ban on all executive branch officials lobbying the government for 5 years after they leave government service. I'm going to ask Congress to pass this ban into law so that it cannot be lifted by executive order. All right, let's pause there. That's not bad. I mean, I'm a little more strict on stuff like this. I go further than that. In fact, I'm open to the idea of saying if you work in government, you can never become a lobbyist, and you can never become anything that is a lobbyist but pretends like it's not a lobbyist with a different title, because the revolving door is such a big problem and there's so much corruption that you really need to make it so that you cut off every possible angle and avenue to it. So, but not bad. I'm not against him on that. Second one, I'm going to ask Congress to institute its own 5-year ban on lobbying by former members of Congress and their staffs. Third, I'm going to expand the definition of lobbyists so we close all the loopholes that former government officials use by labeling themselves consultants and advisors when we all know they are lobbyists. That's a very good idea. Fourth, I'm going to issue a lifetime ban against senior executive branch officials lobbying on behalf of a foreign government. Interesting. Fifth, I'm going to ask Congress to pass a campaign finance reform that prevents registered foreign lobbyists from raising money in American elections. And then he says, not only will we end our government corruption, but we will end the economic stagnation. All right, now, when he talks about, well, the foreign lobbyists, he's saying that because of Hillary Clinton and because of the Clinton Foundation. So he's like, okay, let me try to craft something that's specifically against them. Now, is he right that you do need a ban on those things? Of course, absolutely. But I'll understand he's guilty of it too. He's a hypocrite because he takes money not only from lobbyists here in the U.S., but from foreign lobbyists. In fact, I'll have a detailed story on this for you in a few days. We'll have the debate breakdown tomorrow, and then after that, I'll give you the details of all the money he's taken from foreign lobbyists also. So he's a massive hypocrite in that respect. And also, when he says, not only will this end our government corruption, but we will end the economic stagnation, well, that's not true at all. So some of these ideas are actually decent ideas. Again, I'd go further, but okay, I'm giving him credit where credit is due because he's a Republican politician, and Republican politicians usually don't even bother to pretend to be in favor of ethics reform. They're usually like, we're anti-ethics, thank you very much, so we're not interested in proposing any kind of campaign finance reform or anything. So credit to him for being better than the other Republicans. But now, having said that, this is largely window dressing. In other words, again, he's saying, our corruption, we will end our government corruption with these ideas. Not even close to true. You're going maybe 1/10 of the way. You got 10% of the way there. And by the way, you're concerned about you say foreign lobbyists affecting the executive branch. Why not just say lobbyists? Why wouldn't you say get rid of all lobbyists affecting the president in that respect? Again, it seems like a weird, only the foreign lobbyists are the problem. No, all the lobbyists are the problem. So, but again, this goes 1/10 of the way that it should go. But what's the real issue that he doesn't address? Money in politics. So, yes, he's doing window dressing. Some of these things are good, but you're not going to affect the actual way Washington works without eliminating the private money in politics and mandating clean elections by law. Clean elections means you have public financing of elections, so instead of having to raise private money from billionaires and multinational corporations, who then you'll turn around and do their bidding for, you get a certain amount up front from the public, and then you're more likely to represent who? The public. So he doesn't discuss that, he doesn't breach that conversation. There's nothing there about campaign finance reform, about getting money out of politics and ending the legalized bribery. He's just talking about ways to tweak the laws around lobbyists and close some loopholes around who is and isn't a lobbyist. Again, not a bad idea, but you're only talking going 1/10 of the way of what we have to do. This barely is a drop in the bucket of all the corruption. So that's the important thing. Now, furthermore, I'll say this. When it comes to Hillary Clinton, so some people are thinking, well, okay, at least he did some ethics reform. What the fuck, Kyle? What about Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton has proposed campaign finance reform. Her idea is, first and foremost, full transparency. Okay, so now we know who's buying our politicians, but you didn't stop it. You just said, oh, now we know who's doing it. Whoop-de-doo. And she also says, overturn Citizens United. Now, this is where a lot of people on the left, who are well-meaning but might not know all the details, they go, oh, great, that's awesome. So then she wants to get money out of politics, right? No. Citizens United effectively shot a dead horse because with previous Supreme Court decisions, they had already legalized private money in politics. So you have Buckley versus Vallejo and First National Bank of Boston versus Bellotti. These were cases from way before Citizens United. I think Citizens United was 2010, and these cases were like early 1980s, late 1970s, or at least one of them was. That's when it started, where they said, yeah, you can go ahead. You can you can have money in politics, you can make private donations, then over time, the rules that capped the amount you can give in different avenues, whether it be the campaign or the super PAC or directly to the politician or whatever, those largely went away. So with McCutcheon, they went away even more. So at first, they let the money in politics, and then over time, they just got rid of more and more of the rules that affected how much you could give. Citizens United and McCutcheon are just the latest examples of that. So if you get rid of Citizens United and McCutcheon, guess what? Money in politics is still allowed. So when she says full transparency and overturn Citizens United, a lot of well-meaning people hear from her, oh, she means get money out of politics. But that's not what it is. It means bring back some of the limits on money in politics. Some of them. So in other words, Hillary Clinton's still in favor of money in politics with minor tweaks and more transparency. Yay. Donald Trump in favor of some changes to lobbyists, adding some more restrictions on some lobbyists in some circumstances. Yay. They both go 1/10 of the way that they need to go, which yet again goes back to the main point. This is why these two candidates are literally the most disliked major party nominees in U.S. history.